Heat, Thermal Energy, and Temperature by Nisa Latoulet. Thermal energy is the total amount of kinetic energy of the molecules in a substance as they move. Heat is thermal energy that flows from a substance of higher temperature to a substance of lower temperature. Temperature is a measure of hotness or coldness of substances that relate to the level of kinetic energy. This can be measured in Kelvin, Celsius, or Fahrenheit. Everything around us is made up of kinetic energy, or microscopic molecules moving and twisting and vibrating all around us. The cooler something is, the slower the molecules move. A glass of warm water has fast-moving thermal energy. The molecules are buzzing and vibrating very quickly. When we add the two together, the warm water gives up some of its energy to the ice. This is creating heat. When two substances of different temperatures come into contact, there will be a transfer of thermal energy until equilibrium is reached. Let's add some heat to this little X and see what happens. As the heat is applied to the X, the molecules start to build wider gaps between each other as they're moving so quickly. This causes things to expand as they heat up. As our X is left to cool down, the molecules start to slow down again, and they go back to their original state. This expanding and contracting is how an alcohol thermometer works to measure temperature. The thermometer measures the level of kinetic energy of the liquid in the coffee cup. The more quickly the kinetic energy moves around, the more the alcohol in the thermometer expands and rises to the top. If the liquid is cooler, the thermometer will contract and the liquid will be lower. There are 3 different measurements for temperature: Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin, but all are measuring the same kinetic energy. Celsius is the most common thermometer in the world, created by Andrew Celsius from Sweden. This is the first man to create a measure of 100 being the boiling point to 0 being the freezing point. Fahrenheit, a common way to measure temperature for America, created by German physicist Gabriel D. Fahrenheit. Freezing is at 32 Fahrenheit and boiling is at 212 Fahrenheit of the Fahrenheit scale. Kelvin is a precise absolute temperature scale created by a British physicist, Lord Kelvin. Kelvin has no degrees because there is no negatives. So when you have a temperature on Kelvin, it'll just have a K to represent the Kelvin. If we were to get one measurement from each of these types of thermometers at the freezing point of water, the kinetic energy of the freezing point would be exactly the same. The thermometers would read 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and 273.15 Kelvin. As you can see from this map, the U.S. is kind of all by themselves in using the Fahrenheit system. The rest of the world has switched over to the metric system in Celsius. Let's take one look at what we've learned. The kinetic energy is moving at an average pace. Heat is added, the thermal energy goes to the cooler molecules. They speed up as heat increases. The higher kinetic energy causes the liquid in the thermometer to expand and measure a temperature. Phew, that's a lot.
Created using Powtoon.